Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, God bless you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. Please like this video. We are going to be making this beautiful style on the screen we are about to make, and here I've already drawn some lines here with my pencil. In my last tutorial, some of my subscriber commented that my lines were not really showing, it's not obvious, so I'm going to be putting you through, then use my marker to trace the lines, right? So we'll just get down to it. I'm going to start with my vertical line. I'm assuming this place as my guideline, so this is my guideline. So I will start with the neck. So I'm making use of 3 inches for the neck depth. Then the yoke, I'm going to be making use of 6.5, which is there. Then is 11.75, which is there. The under bust is 15.75, which is there. Then her waist is 17.75. Then I added 1 inch for the seam allowance, which is 18.75. So these are my vertical lines. So here are the lines. I've already made them straight with my marker. So my measurements are starting from this line here. That's why I ruled this point here. So I'm going to be using this later on, which I will explain. So from here like this, so my measurement is starting from here now, and we'll measure this. My shoulder divided by 2, which is 7.75, which is here, plus half an inch to join my sleeve, right, which is what I have here. Now I now measure my armhole, which is 9 inches, which is what I have here. So this is my 9 inches, starting from the guideline. This is my 9 inches. Then my neck width is 3 inches. That's 3 by 3. That's what I've used here. Then I come down for my slope, 1.25, which is what I have here. Then I just make it straight this way. And from this slope, I go up half an inch for my shoulder seam allowance. This is it. The next thing to do now, I'm going to be marking my horizontal measurement, right? My chest line here, my bust circumference is 44, divided by 4 is 11 inches, which is here. Then when I cut it out, I'll be needing 1 inch to join it back, which is what I've had here. Then plus 2 inches for side seam, which is what I have here. Then this dart here, I also add it here, which is here. So this is the points I'm going to be ruling now, right? I hope you understand this. Come down to my dart. The nipple to nipple is 8.5, divided by 2 is 4.25, which is here, plus half an inch. So I have 4.75 here. Then I'll rule it from my waist point here to my bust, which is here. On my waist line here, I come in 75 an inch this way, then I go out 2 inches this way, right? The same thing on this waist too, on the under bust, rather. From the bust point, I come down 1 inch, then I connect this. Place my ruler this way and connect this to meet my armhole this way. Also connect this too. So I come down from here, from this point, I just come down. Since this is where my yoke is going to stop, this is the yoke. So this is where the yoke is going to stop. So that means that my armhole, I kind of finished connecting this. To connect this armhole, what I did here was that After marking the midpoint, from this midpoint I come down 1 inch, right? This is the 1 inch. Then from this 1 inch I come in 1 inch again, right? Then from there I connect this point to this 1 inch here and to my bust circumference divided by 4, which is what I have here. So I just place my ruler this way, connect this first, right? Just connect this first, then connect this again, right? I just place it this way, then connect this. So this is what I have here, right? Now from this point now that I've made this up now, since I've already marked this up like this, so this is where my line is going to stop, right? This part is no longer needed because I've already shaped this armhole here. So this place now is now the excess I'm going to cut out of the armhole. So from this point now, and I come down 1 inch, which is what I have here. So I just follow this curve, this armhole curve, and I came down 1 inch. And from that 1 inch, I place my ruler this way again. Just make it curve this way. So then I make it longer. And just smooth this place this way. So now for this point to match at the time I want to sew it, this 1 inch that I came down here, I also go up. So I make use of 1.5. It's better you have excess, right? Then I connect a new armhole back to this. Now at my waist, I want to place my horizontal measurement on the waistline. Now on this waistline, I just measure my waist divided by 4, which is, our waist is 37.5. So divided by 4, we have 9.75, which is what I have here. This is 9.75. Then plus this dart intake here. So the dart I have here is 2.75, which is what I have from here now to this place. Then I need 1 inch to join it back, which is what I have here. Then plus side seam allowance of 2 inches, which is what I have here. So I'm going to make this line now straight this way too. So this is it now for this pattern. Now coming back to this is the yoke, right? This is the yoke. So these points I will not be needing it, right? I don't need this point. I don't also need this point. So this is where I will cut out. This pattern now is ready and I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to do something here, right? So at this down here, I'm going to go up 1 inch and I'll connect it to this dart leg here. And I'll cut it out. I'm going to focus on the back side now. So this is the back pattern. So to draft the back pattern, I'm going to start with the neck depth for the back, which is the vertical line. The same we start at the front too. We're going to do the same thing for the back. So the neck depth at the back is going to be 1 inch. So I make use of 1 inch. Then remember the yoke. Now for the back, you can either make it a bit slanting down. You can make it lower at the back side, right? At the front we make use of 6.5 for the yoke, but for the back here I'm making use of 7.75, which is here, right? Then the bust point is 11.75, which is here. Then the length for the front, the length we make use of 17.75 plus 1 inch. It was now 18.75 for the front. Now for the back, well, instead of the 18.75, we are going to be making use of 17.75. That means minus 1 inch, and that 1 inch is what we remove from here, what we slant from this place, right? So it make this line now straight. These are the lines, right? Now the neck width for the front and back should be the same. So our neck width, we make use of 3 inches, right? So this is the 3 inches here. Then our shoulder measurement was 7.75, which is here, plus half an inch, which is there, right? Then the armhole was 9 inches, which is here. Then the slope was 1.25, which is here. So we make this line now straight. Connect this line like this straight. Then also connect this line to straight this way, right? Then for the back, remember for the front, we divide this, what we have from here to this place, divide it by 2, then mark the midpoint, which is here. Then we come down 1 inch, but for the back we are going to come down half an inch, then we come out half an inch. So we connect this line this way. So we connect this way to this place, then we will now connect this to this. Before then, come down to the back. I'm going to slope this area here. Now my zip allowance is 1.5 inches. So I mark the 1.5 inches starting from here this way, right? Then I minus 1 inch. This is the 1.5 inches, right? This is the 1.5 inches. Then from this now, I now minus 1 inch, which is here. Then I replace half an inch here, which is here. So this become my line now. After minus this chest line, I will measure my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 11 inches, which is what we have here. Then 2 inches for side seam, which is what we have here. Then coming down to the waist, we are going to start the measurement from here, right? So my waist circumference divided by 4 is 9.75, which is what we have here, right? Then from there we'll measure this dart that we take in 1 inch, which is here. Then 2 inches for side seam, which is here. So we are going to connect this line. So this will become my yoke. This is the yoke now. You make sure that what you have from here to here is the same thing you have for the front armhole, from the slope to where you stop the yoke line, and that's what I have here, 6.5. Then at this zip side is where I came down a bit. So I'm going to make this now straight this way, this way. Then this is my 1 inch for, this is my slope, and this is the half an inch for my shoulder seam allowance, right? So this is it now. Then this is where our dart leg is to my bust point, right? So I'm going to cut this out. This one is also ready. Pattern. So I'm going to cut them on my fabric, cut the lining alongside, cut my stay on them, and come back to show you. So here are the patterns. The front part, right? Let's keep the back aside. This is the front part. This is the yoke. So iron my stay and a soft wording for the front, right? This is it. So here you can see that I added half an inch up here, half an inch on this down of this yoke to join this back, right? I cut this in two. I've also put stay on one side So with this now, I have them in 4 places, right? For the back, I'm going to go over to my machine and hold the dart here, right? Both the lining and the fabric, then come. So, and so here is it. So now I've already sewed the princess line, right? So I placed it earlier. I've already sewed it, so I will just go over to my sewing machine and then iron the seam open, right? And I've also sewn the lining as well. Here is the yoke for the front. This is the yoke side. So this will be the right side. So it's going to be like this, right? So remember that we added 2.5 inches from here. So as I was sewing it, here the lap that I want to be half an inch. So placing it this way, if you place it this way now, you see that it is half an inch. So from here, this is the center line when we're drafting our pattern, right? So from this center line to where I've trimmed this seam allowance to now, this 2.5 inches that I added before is half an inch. So it is half an inch that I make use of. So I trim all these parts away. So I just place them. Remember I said we'll cut 4 of this. So I just place 2 right side face each other, right? Then sew this place with my, I just sew it, then cut it off because I only need half an inch here. Then the same thing that I did to this other side, to half an inch. So the one that will be lapping this is what I just fold. After I finish sewing it, then I fold it into 2 this way, then sew this one. So that means that I left half an inch here, then I trim the other part away. I left 1 inch here, trim the other part away, then I refold it, right? I refold it this way, then sew this place this way. So this will be my center line now. So if I lap it this way, this is where, if I have to put button, this is where I'll be putting my button, and the collar will be here. So right, so this is ready now. I only sew this part. Have not touched the armhole area, have not touched the shoulder and the neck, right? So I'm going to flip it this way, then pick my lining, then place the lining right side face each other this way. Then I'm going to sew with my half an inch. Remember we added half an inch seam allowance to the down part, to this upper part, to join it back, right? So I'm going to place it this way now. Then I'm going to sew this place with half an inch. I will leave this armhole, then come to the side, sew it with my half an inch seam, sew this side with my, then flip it to the other side this way. Then the lining will be going to the back side. Then this one will stand this way. So that's how this is the back now. Now this back, I've already sewed this. This is what we should achieve at the time we finish sewing it, right? So what I did here is that I just picked the 2 of these. Remember that we said we'll be cutting 4 of this, which is this part now. This is it, right? This is it, right? So what I did was that I placed this right side face each other, then sew the zip allowance side with my half an inch, so it will remain 1 inch for my zip, right? So I just sewed this side. So I've not sewed the armhole, I've not sewed the shoulder, I've not sewed the neck, because we are going to add collar. Then turn it out. That's the only thing I did here. So this is 2. Place the right side face each other, so then turn it out. So then the next thing to do, this is where this is going to be, right? It's going to be like this. So what I did here was that I just flip it. This is my armhole side, and this is the zip allowance side. So, and this is where I've already sewn. So I just flip it like the right side face each other this way, right? Then pick the lining. This is the lining. Then place it this way too. Then sew half an inch too here. Then I left some parts here. Remember that we've already turned this, so we need to turn this as well. So I just left some parts here, then place it this way. Sew this. I will make sure that my stitches do not touch this. While I'm sewing it, my needle will not touch this yoke side. So I just sew it with half an inch too this way to this down side. Then sew this side too. Then flip it out this way, right? then flip it out this way. This line will be going to the back, while this will be standing this way, and that's what we have here now. So when I finish doing that, I measure what I have from here, the waist circumference. I measure what I have here, and I've also measured what I have for this circumference for the back. Then I'm going to use it to cut the flare for the down part, right? I have there is what I've used to cut the down part for the flare. So this is the flare. I've cut it alongside with the lining, right? For the circumference of what I have, this is for the back, is what I have cut here. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and use the lining to turn it at the down part. I will just sew, place the right side face each other, then sew the down part, and also sew the side. And the same thing for the front as well, right? So the front is cut on fold, while the back will be cut into two, because in three places, one for the front, two for the back, right? So this is for this now. So how I cut this flare, I'll just demonstrate it using a paper. Get the fabric, fold it like this, then measure the circumference of what I measure for the waistline, measure it this way. Then after folding it into two this way, then measure the circumference this way. Then I fold it like this again, scarf cut this way. Then I now measure the circumference. Then I measure the circumference this way. Then measure my length, right? Measure the length. Then curve. Then mark the line here. Cut it out, and that's how I used to cut this flare. Hope you understand what I just explained. So here is it. So now I've already sewn yoke to it. This is it now. Very neat. I've also sewn this too. So the next thing to do now, this is the down side. This is for the front. So I'm going to open it this way, then place this front, right side face each other, right? Then I'm going to sew it with half an inch this way. So I'm going to sew with half an inch at this area, then turn it out, and it will be like this, right? Then I'm going to do the same thing to this side as well. And place it this way, and place this way, right? Then flip it this way, right side face each other, then sew it with half an inch. Then I'll turn it out. Then I'll place the right side face each other and sew the side. Place my pocket on it and sew the side. Then also sew this other side of the zip. Fit my zip, right? Then I will come back to show us how to cut the collar, and I will cut my sleeve as well. I've already joined the down part with the upper part, just as I said before. This is the back side, and this is where I'm going to fit my zip on, right? So this is it now. And I've also add my pocket at the side here. This is the pocket. I've add the pockets here at the side. So this is now is ready now. Now is to fit the collar, right? So I'll be measuring this one. What I have is what I'm going to use to cut my collar, right? So here I'm having 21 inches. So yeah, I'm having 21 inches, right? So you can measure it, and whatever measurement you have, that's what you use. So I'm having 21 inches. So I'm going to keep this aside now and draft for the collar. So now I fold my pattern into this way. I want to draft the collar. So remember we measure 21 inches, so half of it is 10.5. This is it here, 10.5. The collar stand, I want the length to be 1 inch. So in this place now I'm going to come in half an inch and I'll be blending it this way. Then on this place too, I'm going to measure 1 inch. Now I'm going to be my collar. This is the collar stand. Then the main collar now, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches for the length. Now I'll mark half an inch from here this way. Now I'll be connecting it back to this. On this side, I'm going to be using 1.5 inches here, and I'll connect this to this using my curve to cut this out now and use it to cut on my fabric. So I've cut it on my fabric now, and I cut two of them, two of this collar and the collar stand, two of it, right? Then I iron my stay on it. Then I add half an inch all round, right? You can see I added half an inch all round, including the collar stay, half an inch all round. So what I will do now is I'm going to go back to my sewing machine. So I cut two of this, two of this. So I'll go back to my sewing machine. Then I will be sewing with the half an inch that I add, right? I will sew it the curve area. I'm going to sew half an inch this way, this way. Right? Sew it round now. So I'm going to trim this. I'll trim it all round. So I'll turn it out down, right? Right side facing up this way. I'll place it this way, and I'll place this on it like this. This is the center of this, and this is the center of this, so we have to meet this way. Then I'll place this on top. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine now. Then I'm going to sew it with my half an inch like this way. I'll start it from here like this, sew it this way, down to sew it this way, right? Sew it this way like this, right, with my half an inch, then turn it out. And that's it here. I've already sewn it here and I've turned it out. So this is it. After turning it, this is what we have here. So now I'm going to bring out my clothes now. Then I'll be placing this. Let this notch now meet with this center back, right? And I'll place it this way. And I'm going to sew it with half an inch all around, right? I'm going to sew it this way, half an inch all around. Then after which I will turn it and fold this, then top stitch on it. Then I'll come back to show you the final look. And here is the final look of our dress, guys. So I've already fixed the collar on it. So this is the down part, and this is our pocket, right? Then we've also fixed the zip as well, so you can see where the zip stops here, right?